North Korea has defied the international community. It has gone ahead and launched a long-range missile. Now, Pyongyang claims a rocket has lifted a satellite into orbit. So it doesn't really change anything. For more, we turn to the president of the Plowshares Fund and author of Bomb Scare, History and Future of Nuclear Weapons. Joe Cirincione joins me live from Washington. Welcome to the program, Joe.
Good morning, Sir Hannah. Thanks
Earlier this morning, we had our Foreign Affairs Minister, John Baird, on, and he said this launch causes, and I quote, great concern. What words would you use?
Well, yeah, this is a destabilizing and provocative move. There's no question about it. You can see the South Korean cabinet goes into emergency session. There's going to be a meeting of the UN Security Council. I mean, this is not what you want North Korea to be doing. You want them back at the bargaining table. You want them talking about limits on their missile program, limits on their nuclear program, so that once again they defy the international consensus. Sanctions are sure to follow.
You know what? They know all of that. They know what the world wants. So why defy? We perhaps expected more from this new leader.
Yeah, never underestimate the impact of domestic politics on international security decisions. This is almost completely driven by the internal political situation of North Korea. Kim Jong-un, the 20-something heir to the throne here, has had a somewhat unstable transition here. He's trying to shore up his support. He's trying to shore up military support. The launch comes just days before the one-year anniversary of the death of his father, Kim Jong-il. So it's definitely a demonstration of strength. It's more about what's going on inside North Korea than any move actually directed against another country.
So do you think the West should look at it that way, as a matter of timing, you know, the day before, and then he's got to show his strength and be the man, that kind of stuff? You know.
Yeah, man up. Yeah,
man
that's
up,
right.
yeah.
That's exactly, well, that is right, particularly because even though this does bring North Korea a step towards a weapons capability, it's only one small step. There are many other big steps to take. For example, they do not have a nuclear warhead that could fit on this missile. They put a very, very light payload into orbit, weighing pounds. A nuclear warhead, you know, is about a ton, and they have not demonstrated the ability to miniaturize a nuclear device to that size. It's putting it up is very difficult. It took them 5 tests over 5 years. Getting it back down is equally as difficult. They have no re-entry vehicle that can survive the vibration, temperature, and pressure of a re-entry. So even though they were successful in this satellite launch, which shows missile capability, there's major, major steps still to go. Still years away from a weapon that can threaten Canada or the United States.
So keeping all of that in mind, keeping the timing in mind, the lack of viability in mind, and the distance they are from actually launching a nuclear warhead, is the global community overreacting, Joe?
No, I don't think so. You know, you do not want a country thinking they can just get away with this, that it's a free pass. Even though they're getting less attention to this launch than they did to the previous launches, you know, I think the community, Canada's reaction is appropriate. The President of the United States condemned it. John Kerry, the head of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, condemned it. The UN Security Council. You want to show these people that there's a price to pay, that, you know, this may be a military advance for them, but it's an economic and diplomatic step backwards.
So what kinds of measures are you watching for from the international community to act as a deterrent?
Well, that is a bit of a problem. We already have one of the toughest sanctions regimes ever put on this country. It's an impoverished nation. They don't have much trade, but you will see even more trade restrictions, travel restrictions. The big factor here really is China. As long as China continues to prop up the regime, they'll have an economic lifeline. China's not pleased with this launch. It's not something that they want, but they want less to see the regime collapse. So unfortunately, I think you'll probably see the North Korean regime limp along.
Joe, always a pleasure to have you on, and I thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Suhana.
Joe Cirincione joining